Hamilton, the short-tempered protean creator.
And we all know that's not how it's supposed to go. Oh, the Hamilton Challenge is going to break your heart. And we are back after that intro. I cleaned up a little bit more this morning, so counters look a little different. It's because it's probably been an hour since we last left off with that device right there, and we were supposed to segue into what? I was younger than you are now. When I was given my first command, I led my men straight into a massacre. Witnessed their deaths firsthand. Oh, and when the Hamilton Challenge takes that moment away from you, now granted, we segued to an amazing song, but your heart just kind of is like, uh-oh, something's wrong. Welcome to the Hamilton Challenge video. I realize that this upload is over a week late for the, I think, 3 of you now. I think I got 3 people doing this. Paisley, Dog, and Ro. Welcome, Ro. You're the latest person who wants to do this. So here is the rules of the Hamilton Challenge. You've been expecting this video. Sadly, again, I know a couple of you were expecting it last week. I guess I should point out timeline is kind of important as we embark on the Hamilton Challenge. It's January 2020. Welcome to it. Today's the 31st. I did have a video with the Hamilton Challenge on it, kind of ready to go, but obviously last weekend became what it was, so it just didn't seem right to post Hamilton video. I'm referring, of course, to the loss of Kobe Bryant. Hold it. As one who loved Kobe from day one, and by day one, for me, here in Utah, obviously that means when I first heard about him. But I heard about him as a high schooler from Lower Merion, and he was going to take Brandy to a senior prom. And let's back up. So let's back up, just to give you context, because Paisley, you probably have never heard this, but Uncle Ryan, I was a Kobe fan when I heard he was going to take Brandy to a senior prom. That's the day that I said, okay, I will follow this guy wherever he goes. I'm going to be his biggest fan in whatever way I can. I'm going to be Team Kobe. And because at the time I had a huge crush on Brandy, but come on, it's Brandy, who didn't? And so I was a Hornets fan for a couple hours when they drafted him in '96, and then he was like, I'm going to the Lakers. So I became a Laker fan. So the fact that Kobe, I was going to be a fan of his wherever he went, decides he's going to play for the Lakers, it just reinforced all my Laker love. And so I took it so hard because a couple of you out there this last week have reached out and said, man, I can't even imagine what that loss meant to you, Ryan, because I know you have been a fan of his. And then when he did what he did and he became what he became, and I mourn. G told me that I had to keep this thing short. Again, the other video I had uploaded, the other reason that I took it down, G watched it and she said, Ryan, that's so freaking boring, nobody's going to watch that. So I keep looking over at the Hamilton Challenge rules here on the fridge, and I got to get to it. And the fact that I've been able to share, I'm going through it again, I'll be quick, my Vanessa story a couple times this week to a few coworkers that I'd never told the Vanessa story to is so sweet to me, because I've been able to cathartically have that moment. And not like Vanessa knows who I am, she doesn't, but she kind of does, because I saw her at Alice in Wonderland at Disneyland, and my wife and I were next in line when she came walking up the exit with the security people, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's Vanessa Bryant. And my wife's like, oh really? And these girls behind us are like, who's Vanessa Bryant? And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? How do you not know who Vanessa Bryant is? And there are some teenage girls behind us at the time, and this was 10 years ago. And Gianna would have been 3, and Vanessa, you were there with your two youngest, your onlys at the time. And I remember it was 10 years ago because I was holding Beckham in my left arm, And I did this, I succumbed, and I started doing what I usually don't, but I started being like, Vanessa. And I was looking over at you as you were waiting for your caterpillar, and I was like, Vanessa, Vanessa. And you looked over finally, and you're like, oh, this guy's not going to stop yelling my name until I look over. I'm sure that's what's going through your head. You're like, oh man, it's like my first ride of the day, because it was early morning. And you look over, and you were so nice to just be like, hey, how's it going? Oh, your baby's so cute. Really cute. And I just said, hey, Utah sure loves you and your family. We're huge fans, 24 forever. So yeah, I've been able to share that story about seeing you for like those 10 seconds at Disneyland. And man, I've thought about that day a lot this past week and how heartbroken you've been. So Kobe, he meant so much to me. Been repping Adidas all week, because that's, yeah, Clark loves Adidas. So the fact that Kobe was tied to Adidas at some point is so cool. Oh, Team Kobe. Mamba mentality. Let's get to the Hamilton Challenge. Sorry, people. Hamilton Challenge. First of all, if you are going to partake of the Hamilton Challenge, I got to wait. One more thing, but we are getting to the Hamilton Challenge rules. Here we go. If it's been a while since you've listened to Hamilton, and by a while I mean 3 or 4 months. Okay. If you haven't listened sequentially in the last 3 or 4 months, now I don't know what your frequency is like for Hamilton, but you're going to want to go back and listen sequentially, because it kind of is important. You need to remind yourself of, okay, that song flows into that goes there. Yes, this timeline. Okay, here's what Philip's doing. Here's what Burr's, he's thinking at this point. And so you're going to have to carve out, a good 2.5 hours, but it doesn't need to be obviously 2.5 hours. Feel free to make it whatever you want. If you're only listening on the short commute to work, if you are walking across campus and you got your headphones on, if you're going to listen on tracks, whatever it is. I mean, just whatever time it takes you to get sequentially through. Obviously, we are an Amazon house, so for me, when I'm home in the mornings cleaning and stuff before I go to work, I just always, like 90% of the time. Ari's been on there a lot this year. Bieber's been on there a lot this year. His new one dropped yesterday, or 2 days ago. So Bieber gets played a fair share here right now. But I always go back to Hamilton. And we get to the actual challenge. And here's the crazy thing. Oh, again, time is so weird, because I had that video ready to go, right? The Hamilton Challenge video. Weekend happened. But the crazy thing is, just last night, Lin-Manuel Miranda either tweets, I can't remember how I saw it, because I just do all my social media at night during bath time. So I can't remember exactly which site it was, but he tweets or he instas or whatever, or I read an article on the fact that he announced that he is making a movie. Hamilton film, feature length, with the original cast. So that news drops last night. For someone like me, guys, can you even imagine who literally, that's my life right now. I am so consumed with the moral of this play and the stories that this play teaches. And when I started doing the Hamilton Challenge, I realized, oh, this challenge, these rules are making me appreciate this play even more than I ever have. So do not take it lightly. I do, when you embark on the challenge, I want your Hamilton listening time to be solid time. Okay? If you've got 4 kids in the family, around the table, and they're all yelling like tonight, I wouldn't allocate part of my Hamilton challenge time to the Hamilton that will be playing tonight at dinner. Does that make sense? You do yourself a disservice if you don't allow your listening time that counts as listening time to be anything other than genuine, good, solid time. I hope this isn't shaky. Like I'm holding this tripod up with my right hand. My right hand's starting to get a little tired. So, okay, so there we go. Now let's get to the rules real quick. Hamilton Challenge, absolutely, when it begins. And again, just keep track of, roughly how long it takes you to shuffle through the whole play. But give or take, it's 2.5 hours. So again, if you're going to listen every day on a commute that's a half hour and you want to do it sequentially, then just tell yourself, okay, for the next 5 days, all of my drive time is Hamilton. That's personally what I would do if I was you, unless you're like me and you easily cycle through Hamilton at least once a day. I mean, it's rare that I don't get at least one full cycle of Hamilton in. My life has to be crazy in order for that to happen. But nevertheless, rule number 1, you must shuffle. No skipping, no cheating. You must shuffle. If you're a Apple Music person, if you're a Spotify, again, we're Amazon, so it's easy for me to just tell Alexa over there to just shuffle songs by, and she does it. If you were rocking the CD still, fine, whatever format you're using to listen to Hamilton, just figure out a way to just shuffle it. But there is absolutely no skipping songs of your own. Okay, whatever your device brings up next, you have to listen to that song. Does that make sense? Rule number 3, you are allowed 3 repeats only throughout the duration of your Hamilton challenge. So if you're going to do it in a week, you're allowed 3 repeats only. Why are we doing this? You may have asked yourself. Well, because at the end of this, I really want you guys to get a hold of me. I think most of you I'm buds with on Insta, so just DM me which dog you're not. You're just gonna have to text me. You tell me which 3 songs you repeated and who your favorite character is, your favorite performer. And we're not really doing this for any other reason than I'm interested to know who your favorite is, if you have a favorite, and you might have 2 or 3. It always goes upside. There I go, right side up. But that's the rules of the Hamilton Challenge. I'm issuing it now. I'll put it on the +Clarks vlog as #Forkin'Clark or Hamilton, #Hamilton Challenge. I didn't want to like demo it as we were going along, just because I didn't want to like talk over parts of it. But I hope it's pretty clear what I'm asking you guys to do. Those of you that want to do this. It's 14 minutes of crud. Okay, I'm wrapping things down. But all you need to know is I'm curious as to who your favorite is. The reason we're doing this is just, I don't know. For me, the fact that I love Burr as much as I do, his story arc is just a constant reminder to me that we can get along, that the world is wide enough for all of us to coexist. And sadly, he realizes that just too late. And I feel that that's so tragic. I just love Burr. I resonate with him so much. And every time, wait for it, gets shuffled away from, it infuriates me. It's so hard. It's so hard to hear that. I'll see you on the other side of the war. And then you shuffle into whatever else. It's like, oh no. So when Wait For It comes on, you better believe. Probably 2. Maybe not all 3 repeats of mine are getting used, but at least 2. And that's why I'm issuing this, because I think Hamilton probably is going to mean different things to you. But for me, I think it's the universal knowledge that we have to come to terms with each other in whatever way. There's way too much vitriol out there. Way too much. In whatever world you live. If it's the sports world, if it's the politics world. For me, it's the Hollywood and celebrity world. And there's a ton of vitriol out there. And some people may laugh at that, but it's very real. Even with this past week, I mean, the whole celebrity-loving world, we're kind of up in arms over TMZ and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's divisive stuff out there on every front, and we just have to learn. But TMZ, I really hope you did the right thing. TMZ. But we have to learn to get along, and this is way too long, 16 minutes, but that's the Hamilton Challenge. Sorry, I didn't mean to get too crazily poetic there. If you need any reminders, maybe I'll try to figure out how to screenshot that, but I'm sure we were on those rules long enough that you know them, and it's on. #Hamilton Challenge. All right, see you soon.